So again, welcome back to me, welcome back to Thailand. Drew Bluta here from Thailand. I hope you're doing well. It's one put here in Thailand and it's Wednesday and it's a bit of a, we got the sun back a bit. The reason why I'm saying that is because it rained again yesterday and all last night it rained and woke up this morning. But it's now, the skies are clear and the beautiful blue sky out there. Just been to the walk to the market, saw the beautiful flags flying in Thailand, and yeah, everything's lovely and sunny and warm. You can feel the heat, but it's going to get cold tonight. It's going to get down to 24 degrees. 24! Ah! Anyway, so yeah, that's freezing cold to me. I've been wearing t-shirts when I go to bed, and I don't have air conditioning. So, for instance, there you go. Anyway. Hope you're doing well. So it's Wednesday, and we're in the international snow time. So, for instance, the radio stations, they've got nothing to talk about. So, for instance, I listened to the sports bar this morning, and they had nothing to talk about England. And oh my Christ, it's so boring. It really is. And who is England best? What would they talk about how would the England players compare to the last time? For instance, yesteryear would do well in England squad today, and it's oh Christ. And who would get in? Who wouldn't get? Who cares? Who cares? I think I turned it off after about 10 minutes. And they really are devoid of ideas, etc. For instance, when the international snow's on, it really does. It's what are we going to do? I did find what's it called, a TV channel, for instance, on my I've got 3BB, which is a Thai TV thing, etc. And they have international channels as well. And they have one called W Football, which is women's football, and it's 24 hours a day football for women. It's really good. And they got the Man City game on, and Liverpool. I think it's on one at it though, Sunday. But I think the Man City's game is on Saturday. But I'll be able to see it again. So on Sunday, so they got the WSL on. Good, really happy. Anyway, but let's talk about, for instance, what's happened in the last 24. Big Joe. Joe Carrigan, main man, for instance, a man, for instance, of which I've met on numerous occasions. Was at the Windsor Castle. Things are doing at Windsor Castle now. Before they used to do the Palace, and now they're doing things at Windsor Castle. For instance, to meet His Royal Highness Prince Andrew, and to pick up his MBE. And there he was celebrating with his family, and a very, very proud moment for him. And I remember Big Joe for a long time. He was. I used to go when I was going to start going to City. I was a member of the Junior Blues. And there was a lady called Erlin with the bell, maybe anybody knows her, and a lovely lady. She showed me around Man City. She was the person who actually took the photo of me, my brother, and Colin Bell. So it was for instance Main Road. She took us on a trip to Main Road, and for instance, and there was King Colin, etc. And there was me and my brother. So for instance, very important. And Colin Bell remembered it and he signed it. So there you go. And she took it, and lovely lady, and she used to give Joe Corrigan some heather before every game, and so for instance, and every so often, etc. She would give the every home game, and Joe would come along, etc. And then sometimes she would give us to give the heather to Joe, and it was my turn one day, and I give Big Joe they gave me a hug as well. And that was my first time I met Big Joe. So after that, there was a time I think I met him at for instance, Bert Trauman. When Bert Trauman came to Manchester City, it was Woodley Social Club, and for instance, he came alone, and I was asking him why he was there, and he said for the main man, and it was for Bert Trauman, and absolutely, and so I had a chat with Bert Trauman as well. So for instance, asked a question about his broken neck. Saving a penalty, broken neck, but Joe was there in awe. Plus there was a lot of other goalkeepers as well. There was former goalkeepers, and it was like a goalkeepers union. So it was absolute legend at Manchester City. I always knew him and Keith McRae, the number 2. But an absolute legend, a great guy, and for instance play for England. If it wasn't for the likes of Ray Clements and Peter Shilton, he would have got more and more chances, and he did. So for England, unfortunately, couldn't break those two stranglehold on the England. So, but he did get his England caps, and and he was an absolutely, and he won a few trophies with Man City. So, but so very happy for him. So let's have a quick look. Man City legend Joe Carrigan was described as receiving his MBE from His Royal Highness Prince of Wales as an incredible moment and one of the most proudest days of his life. The iconic former England goalkeeper, Man City, who chalked up more than 600 appearances for Man City across of course his magnificent career and stretched 3 decades, was awarded the prestigious honour in a New Year's honour list for services to charitable fundraising. Together with the proud wife Val and their children, Joe attended an special investiture ceremony held at Windsor Castle early this month, where he was presented with the MBE by the Prince of Wales. According to the 16 years, across the course of 16 years with the club, he helped City to win the European Cup Winners' Club, the League Cup and League Cup glory, amongst many notable achievements. Joe was no stranger to the big occasion. I think he was a bit nervous. I believe he was going into it. You can't describe the feelings and emotions. It was an incredible and a real once in a lifetime moment. A proud big Joe reflected. You think about it when you come where you come from. I'm a working class family man, grew up in a council estate in Sale. So to end up going to Windsor Castle and meeting the Prince of Wales and receiving the MBE was beyond words. You couldn't write a story like that, and it was just an incredible day. And he goes to talk about his family and his but no, he was to me he was a legend. He always will be. I'll always be Manchester City's number one. What's it called? For instance, a lovely guy, really nice person. I was really happy for him to get his his MBA. I was so nervous beforehand. One of the royal inquiries were chatting to me and just said, just try and enjoy the day. And I said, listen, I'd rather play in front of 100,000 people rather than be doing this. But the Prince just helped out by putting me at ease. When I got to the first introduction, his initial words were, I believe you play for Manchester City in England. And as soon as he said that, I was able to relax. But the fact is that, Princess William, he's a nice guy. I like him. I think we need him as king ASAP. His lovely lady, his wife. He's an Aston Villa fan, so so it was good. But no, very happy for Big Joe, and I have many fond memories of watching him play football for Manchester City. What else are we talking about? Well, you look at the thumbnail, for instance, you'll say talk about 115 and 115. Now, I talked about this yesterday, and what was it actually on my mind is the fact that there was talk, and it was Stefan Burson, because everybody was talking about why is the 115 been done, early in the year. So, and Stefan Burson said, well, it's going to probably be towards the end of the year. Now, as we're approaching, we are in October now, which is, can't believe how days fly. We are now talking about October, for instance, and normally the international break, for instance, normally I expect that, for instance, it could drop. Now, we've got one more international news before the end of the year's out in November, or after the Liverpool game, so it might drop then. But I do believe, for instance, it could do-drop. Now, how confident am I? 100%. 100%. I think the only thing we're going to get is non-compliance, if anything. But I do believe, for instance, there could be a verdict either this international break or next international break, or very, very soon. Nobody's talking about it, which is brilliant, because Jim White never on TalkSport used to never stop talking about it, and the Rags haven't stopped talking about, haven't talked about it. The Scousers haven't talked about it. So it is wonderful to find that nobody's talking about it anymore. So and so do I believe, for instance, I just feel in my back of my mind something's going to happen, because things going well at City. Look at the City ladies and look at the City men, and everything's going well. For instance, the men have had 5 out of the last 2, and since the last international small, and the ladies are doing very well by beating Arsenal 3-2 to go second in the table, the WSL, and with the under 18s, the WSL, so EDS winning as well. So yeah, everything's going well at the moment with City. So and it's just our thing. The players are back after the international break. Rodri's issue is not as bad as what we first thought. Erlin's in fantastic form. Liverpool are dropping points. Arsenal are just doing Arsenal thing, etc., which nobody believes. And but let's see what's happening. So you just feel something's gonna happen. Anyway, right. So talking about that was nice. I was looking at just more information. I was looking at what was his name? O'Reilly. He was being called up for England, and he's really, really thrilled about it. I'm happy for him. A defender. I don't think he was, because he's covering for Reece James again. Reece James injured again. A fantastic defender, which I'd love to see at Man City, but he's just injured all the time. And so he was talking about how the fact that when he got the text. First, I got the text, and I had to double check it when I was on the team bus on the way back from the game. So he was on the way back from Brentford, and he's got a text. As soon as I got off the bus, I gave the call in my car. He just said, I think he was talking about Toodle. He said just he would love to have me in the squad. Have been watching for quite a while, and he sees that I'm doing well and I'm happy playing a lot of games. I was just buzzing. I told my friends, told my mum, told a few people. People knew. They said they were proud of me, and couldn't take it all in. Enjoy every moment and be myself. Then I had to go to bed. I arrived in the morning, met everyone. Everyone's so welcoming. And then I got changed into my kit, and after a few interviews, had to take a few pictures. I'm here right now. So for instance, it's wonderful, absolutely. And again, he's having a really good season at the moment because he's doing very well. So midfielder, but he's been convinced to to the left to cover for Ryan Ignori, who's going to find it difficult reclaiming his place back, and so he should. Who's doing very well, and I thought first time I saw him left back, etc. was Salford City when he beat the Gary Neville side, and last season. I thought he did well there. So, for instance, no surprise when he's come along, and he's just he's just gone from strength to strength, and I think he just gets better every game. And and it's wonderful to see him being called up. So he's signed a new contract at City. He's now a kind of regular starter at City now with the Ryan Ignori left back. And then, for instance, and he's now getting his first cap for England. So to say that EDS players cannot make it at Manchester City there you go. So with Phil Foden and all the others, Cole Palmer was the EDS player, City player. And a lot of other players, etc., for instance, who are getting the chance playing for England. So there you go. So being a Manchester City player does pay off for you, but he deserves it. He really does. He's a really nice guy. Let's have a quick chat about Erlin Haaland. Erlin Haaland, etc., was was a bit scornful, to say the least. Not happy at all about his feelings regarding the draw against Monaco, for instance, and we should have won. If Guardiola would have passed to Erlin in the 90th minute, for instance, we would have gone out with a win. We would have earned 6 from 7. So. But he didn't, unfortunately, and then Erling Haaland was not very happy, and also not very happy with the lady from TNT asking the stupid questions about how many touches he gets, and so for instance, he was not very happy picking up his good player of the season, player of the match trophy, but he was for instance scornful about City and saying we should play, and then Pep was asking about the press conference in Brentford about his how you were happy with him saying this, and Pep Guardiola said why not, because Pep Guardiola is even though it was a bit controversial, he's announced the captains way, not let the team amount the captains themselves. And now he's put Bernardo Silva as main captain, and Erlin Haaland as part of the captaincy. And what Erlin Haaland has done, etc., is basically stepped up. He said, "Listen, and I want you to, he stepped up. Not only him being in his own way, he's being a leader in the dressing room." And basically, for instance, he's wanting the City players to step up as well. So, for instance, and he's not happy of losing. I think he was asked in an interview this week about, for instance, whether he was happy with, when he was asked about last season, and he flatly refused it. He refused to talk about it. I'm not talking about last season. I was last season. We're talking about this season. So he definitely wants to put a right end to a wrong. And to watch Man City drop off, and with him leading the charge, for instance, with the front, Donnarumma keeping, not having a defeat so far, and with Rodri, for instance, he's still a command in the centre. I think Man City's spine is really good, and the likes of Erlin and his new mindset, and as he talked about here, is about his mindset, and the fact that his birth of his son has helped him. Where he goes home and just focuses on his son and not focuses on football. So So for instance, he's now changed his different mindset. So Erlin has credited his birth of his son to his heroics off the pitch after scoring yet another crucial winner. The 25-year-old is in the form of his life after notching up 12 goals for Man City in all competitions. This season at the GTEC Community Centre, which took City in the 5th place. City have Haaland to thank for their overturning their fortune since August, and they have felted 2 losses in their opening trio of 25-25 Premier League games. However, the opponent of Man City's collapses group this summer, Erlin, has led by example on the pitch and has single-handed dragged his side over the line at many times since September, since international break. The lead forward was who joined Man City from Dortmund in 2022, scored over 9 consecutive games for the club and country against Brentford on Sunday evening, and underscoring the every increases in importance to Guardiola. Speaking to Sky Sports after City's narrow win on Sunday, Haaland credited alteration of his life off the pitch and how unfazed he seems on the pitch, and his heroics on the pitch as well. I never felt better than I do now. So yeah, you can say that I'm in form of my life, the Norway international said after Netting City's winner. I think about the preparation first, getting ready for games. You have to be physically ready, but you need to be mentally ready as well. And to be honest, I'm thinking. To be honest, I think that with a kid, it makes me even more better organised. So yeah. So he's which is important, which you can see. It is. I think in life, etc. Mentality is massive. It really does, and you need good mental health, etc. as well as physical health. He's also called on his teammates to focus on recovery and maintain their fitness over the upcoming international break, with Jack Grealish and Everton visiting the stadium, even though Jack can't play. But so it is wonderful to see Erlin leading by the front, and he looks so happy as well, and it just makes me so happy. There was one other thing I said you want to touch on before I go. Is Rodri, and players like Rodri, for instance, the Spanish Federation normally, for instance, when a player declares unfit, as it were, for instance, or he's not fit, a lot of the doctors of these countries, the national teams, they always want them to go over to to be assessed. But it appears that they work closely with City and the Spanish Federation, the doctors, the EF. And they appears that, for instance, they've come to say, listen, keep him in Manchester, let him do, they're trusting Manchester City's medical performance, and it's I respect the Spanish for doing that, and not pushing Rodri to come to play in Spain, because I probably could play a game, but I don't want to see him play. They want him to be fully fit just as much as City. So I think I respect the Spanish medical, the Spanish Federation to football to say, listen, stay in just stay in Manchester and get fully fit, and then come out to us in November. Anyway, so but other than that, again, for instance, Bunny Shaw, for instance, she's been elected, she's been WSL, she's been nominated for a Player of the Month for instance, and I hope she does well, and I look forward to that. So we've got the game against Liverpool this week, and on Saturday, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'll be back with a chat on my when I talk about the WSL for the Liverpool, Man City Liverpool, and because at the Joel Stadium, I'm looking forward to that. And but other than that, for instance, I'll speak to you tomorrow, talk about anything Manchester City, and have a good day, and like and subscribe, tell me what you're thinking, what's on your mind. Do you feel the 115 could drop? Do you think? Were you proud of Big Joe? And for instance, Erlin Haaland, is he saying the right things? And I was doing the right things on the pitch, etc. And I think he is, and he's going to be into a true leader, and he loves our club. Anyway, and we love him. So, like and subscribe, tell me what you're thinking, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.